Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another issue of Mortal Realms magazine. As per usual with all these videos though, if you like them, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and drop a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, it goes a massive way to help the channel too. And not only that, if you like your Warhammer conversation, you do not have to keep it confined to the comments. I have just set up a Discord server. Feel free to join it if you wish to. There you can talk about Warhammer, Warhammer lore, have a chat, make some friends, post your pictures, check out what I'm up to, and I'll post as often as I can on there. And it's an easy way to have a bit of direct conversation, but entirely up to you if you wish to join it. But if you do, the link is in the pinned comment down below. By all means, it's entirely up to you. Hit the link and away we go. But for now, of course, we're on issue 65 of the magazine. So we have this week Corax White and Nilikai Oxide. Two paints, very, very handy, especially if painting up the Night Haunts the same way that they are in the magazine. But they can come in handy for a lot of other bits and pieces as well. So definitely worth having those two and keeping them safe. And if your Corax White goes a bit thick and gloopy though, get yourself some paint medium, so Lamy medium, which is the main one that Good Old Games Workshop do. Get a bit of that in there, get a couple of mixing balls, and yeah, shake it like no one knows what. It'll take a little while, but you can get rid of that thick gloopiness if you need to. Same goes for any of your paints as well. The only ones you probably will not have that problem with is the technicals, like Vanilla High Oxide as well, but it's a bit thinner. And any washes as well. Moving into the magazine though, before I ramble on about paints, we are greeted by Stormcast Eternals. We have the Lord Veritant. So, Lord Veritants are tireless seekers of corruption. Armed with stave, sword and iron will, these witch hunters root out evil in every corner of Sigmar's domain. Sorcery falters in the presence of a Lord Veritant who cuts down rogue spellcasters and magic users with ease. So, with course chaos is a fact of life in the mortal realms, and even the most loyal cities of Sigmar play host to hidden cults and secret sects. The Lord Veritants are an elite kind of Stormcast Eternal commander who can root out these cults and destroy them. So, Lord Veritants, there's only one model that I'm aware of that exists of Lord Veritants, and it is a really cool looking one as well. So they are literally tasked with uncovering secret evils, destroying magic users, and being a very, very strong counter towards any magic as well. So they will slay vampires, necromancers, and demons alike, and they are pretty damn cool at it as well. So the model itself is this one here, a really, really cool looking model. Comes with a Gryph-hound, because whilst Stormcast Eternal hero would not come equipped with a Gryph-hound to help them along the way, they have a really cool sword which is all rune etched and everything like that as well, which is a fantastic blessed sword. And of course they have tons of robes because yeah, they're a commander. Moving on though, we have more about the Stormcast Eternals and the Exemplar Chambers. So the Exemplar Chambers are formations of very heavily armoured and very skilled Stormcast Eternals, including, but not limited to, Lord Celestant, Lord Relictor, a Lord Veritant, Knight Azeros, Knights Heralder, Retributors, Prosecutors and Judicators. You can mix them up. So if you want to make an Exemplar Chamber, you would have a Lord Celestant, a Lord Relictor, 1 to 3 of the other Lords as well, so you could have a Lord Veritant and a couple of yours as well, and 3 to 9 Knights, which is always pretty cool. So you could have a Knight Azeros, Knight Heralder, and Knight Quester maybe, if you wanted to add that to it as well. You had 3 retinues of those, Angelos Conclaves as well, so your Prosecutors, your Paladin Conclave, which would be 9 retinues, and a Justicar Conclave, which would be 3 retinues of, say, Judicators. So really, really cool stuff. Entirely up to you if you want to add an Exemplar Chamber but he's in a new way. He's kind of an extra way of playing with your Stormcast Eternals. Really, really good stuff as well. Moving on though, we have more history to do with Shyish. So this is part 4 of the Prime Inlands, and this is moving into the Age of Sigmar, and where Sigmar's forces burst forth into the lands of Shyish, bringing across and kind of fighting back with forces of chaos. So the legions of Khorne, Nurgle and Tzeentch were fought and hurled back on a dozen fronts by the God King's forces, mainly comprised of the Hallowed Knights and the Anvils of the Helden Hammer as well. And of course this is going through all your different timeline and the history of what goes on in Shyish, and keeping you going with that, and even taking it all the way through up until the beginning of the Soul Wars, which is mainly caused by the Necroquake, which is when good old the Shyish Nadir was forced and foamed into a mouth of the whirlpool of magic, which is caused by Nagashi's great work, and caused by the Black Pyramid when he used that and utilised the great power that the Black Pyramid could consist of. Kickstarted the Soul Wars, which is a fantastic story, and definitely if you want to get one of the novels, get the Soul Wars book. Fantastic read. It is really, really good fun. Gives you a lot more history of what's going on between and what kicked off the Soul Wars as well, which will explain it far better than I ever could, really. Moving on now, we have one of the other new gods of order, which is Grimnir, so the Dwarden god of battle. So Grimnir is the Dwarden god of battle, venerated by warriors, berserkers and vengeance seekers. Such is Grimnir's furious power that his spirit lives on, despite his shattering at the hands of a god beast. So Grimnir was of course the brother of Grungni, the Great Maker. Where Grungni represents creation and invention, Grimnir represents the wrathful, honour-bound side of the Dwarden. In the Age of Myth, this fiery god was known for his love of fighting and inspired many others to follow in his footsteps, hence the Slayers and the Slayer cult. Grimnir was challenged by Sigmar to fight the god-beast Vulcatrix, a titanic salamander of divine power. The battle between the two was one of the greatest the mortal realms has ever seen, with each combatant blazing bright enough to outshine the stars they struggled for supremacy. Finally, the two divine beings slew each other. The violence and intensity of their deaths bound their souls forever, resulting in the creation of a mysterious metal known as Urgold. So, two ultra-powerful beings being the god beast Vulcatrix and Grimnir himself, their battle was one for the ages, really. So it really, really went through everything, and both of them died at their hands. So, but their spirit still lives on, and they still have some powers that have been imbued in the Urgold itself, which is highly prized by the Fire Slayers. So much so that they embed it in their own flesh, and it gives them superpowers, makes them incredible in battle, as well as giving them some extra bits and pieces like the ability to heal faster and swing their axes harder and everything like that as well. And of course you've got a few more bits and pieces, so like the magmatic forges, magmadroths as well, which are these kind of drakes and kind of these beasts that are kind of descendants of Vulcatrix, but now fight as the allies to the greatest of Fireslayer warriors. And of course the Fire Slayers themselves are the worshippers of Grimnir, essentially. Your How to Paint guide is going back quite a distance. It is going back to the Sigmarite Mausoleum. So you may have already finished your Sigmarite Mausoleum, but this is giving you other options of how you can paint it if you wish to. So if you don't want to leave it the way that they originally said paint it, you could literally do yours up a little bit. So of course, with your metal bars, if you haven't already, use Norn oil on them. Do not leave them bright silver. It looks weird. It looks very unusual. Get some Norn oil over them, and they look far, far better. They look a bit darker. They look grim, and everything like that as well. For your roofs, if you wanted to, Corax White, Nillikai Oxide, and then stipple over Dryad Bark and Trollslayer Orange into the recesses and make it look rusty. and everything like that as well, if you wish to. And you can have that kind of rusty copper effect to roofs, if you really wish to. It does look very nice. It's a very interesting and very unique and pretty clever way of painting rooftops for the Sigmar Mausoleum. And of course, if you haven't already, Nilaki Oxide over the statue that is in the centerpiece for your Sigmar Mausoleum, and you can make it look very aged and weather worn and battered and bruised and everything like that as well, if you wish to. And it does do wonders for it. If anything, I personally think though that's slightly too much. You need to go back over with Balthasar Gold or anything like that, or something else metallic to take off that weathering effect. It doesn't look 100% right, in my opinion. It needs something else. It needs a little bit of dry brushing over it to make it look perfect. But a very good way of doing it, no matter what though. So, pretty good. Moving on though, we of course have some information about the specific Aqshy Realm of Fire rule sets, which of course involves the Realm Sphere magics and the Realm commands. So we have this bit, which includes your Realm Sphere magic of Fireball, and of course Realm command of Blazing Fervor. The image there is one of the pretty coolest ones. It's one of the Warcry Chaos Warriors, which is pretty damn cool. So you can get that from Warcry sets. And then of course they also feature the certain lands and everything like that. So the Burning Lands, of course, because of it actually being the Realm of Fire, it is literally a lot of magma. It is very volcanic on that kind of land. So it'll give you all the rules for that. So it makes your games a lot nicer and a lot better as well, if you wish to do it. The actual battle plan though is of course based in Aqshy, and it is the land rives. So a lot to do on here. So you have your heroes and troops list. With the battle plan itself though, not only are you picking 2 of the heroes, but you can pick 6 of the troops. So any unit marked with a star next to its name though, of course, takes up 2 choices, so be careful, plan wisely. Need 2 battle maps, 3 objectives, and yeah, have fun with it. But a good one to go for. Before we move on to next week, we have the pull-out section for the Carrion Empire, which Carrion Empire was one of the boxes that they released, and it is literally the Crypt Ghouls going up against the Skaven. So the Skaven mainly kind of force of the forces of deep chaos, but they are of course Storm Fiends, Warlock Bombardier, Warp Lightning Cannon, a Doom Wheel as well that came in that box. The Doom Wheel was probably still one of my favourite kits. I absolutely love that Doom Wheel. Really good. It's such an enjoyable kit to make as well, so it's a really good one. For the ghouls, you have of course your Crypt Ghouls and Crypt Infernals, and of course the Abhorrent Archregent as well for the Flesh Eater Courts. So very good stuff. The Flesh Eater Courts being a force of death, you can utilise a lot of your other bits and pieces, so you can use them with good old your Soulblight Gravelords if you're going to get them. So, or you can just combine them with the Nighthaunt if you wish to. But really good stuff. Moving on to next week though, we have a Dominion of Sigmar statue with the issue. So for issue 66. Issue 67 will come with Asteria Soulblight, which is a really nice model. Quick build model, so should be pretty good to do. But otherwise, some very good stuff coming from the magazine. That's it from me for this week. I've kept you all long enough. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye now.